All right. Hey guys, I hope everyone is doing well. This is Rudy. Um, hey, before I came out here, I didn't know that the hotel would have internet. When I got out here, I found out it did have internet. So I've been taking the opportunity to collect, flip videos and upload them and stuff. And I love Belize. It's a great place. I probably make it a regular vacation destination now. The only bad thing I got to say about it is if you're prone to getting mosquito bites. You know, I got mosquito bites on every part of my body, and I'm real susceptible to mosquito bites for some damn reason. But anyway, some people don't get mosquito bites. Like for instance, Erin, they don't attack her, so I don't know. I guess the mosquitoes know who they like and they know who they don't like. So I wish I was one of those people that they didn't like. But one thing I wanted to share, and it looks like, I logged in. I've been trying to keep up with the birth certificate issue, when I log in at night, because when I'm uploading videos, I just upload the files and title them, and then I have to wait a long time. Erin's visiting with her friend that she knows out here. So it gives me some time to, browse the internet a little bit. And I noticed that the birth certificate issue looks like it's about to break loose. I mean, it's on front page of Fox News, and you got Rush Limbaugh talking about it a little bit. And these people haven't done as much research as a lot of us have. And so we're in a situation right now I would say in the next few days, I don't know how much longer it will go on. It could be a week or two, or I don't know. But we're in a situation where those of us that have done the research, we know that he's hiding something, and the rest of the world hadn't figured it out. So, given that situation in conjunction with the currency collapse, where we know that the only thing that's keeping our currency afloat is confidence in the United States government. And when confidence in the United States government is about to break because we're going to lose confidence in our commander-in-chief, it looks like there's some bad stuff on the horizon for the United States of America. And I don't see any avoiding it at this point in time, because the cat's going to get out of the bag regarding Barack Obama's eligibility. The fact that his father is a Kenyan should have been enough, but if you add on top of it the fact he's not going to be able to produce a long-form birth certificate, they're not going to be able to avoid that. And then you look at, men and women who are in the military that have trusted their government to do proper vetting on the commander-in-chief. It looks like just a can of gasoline waiting for somebody to throw a light on it. So that issue, part of me wonders like if it's even gonna, who knows where this is going. I mean, it looks bad, and we're gonna need God Almighty to step in. But God Almighty already controls everything anyway. But I think sometimes He lets things, He lets the consequences of our actions occur so that we remember that He is in control. And things might get a little tough, and you might see some social upheaval that we haven't seen for a long time in the United States. But God will protect His own, and God will protect the righteous. We have to remember to keep focused on Him and not let the situation of the world consume us. But I wanted to share another story, and I'll do it quickly because I didn't want to make this a long video. But I met a guy, you guys know Jerry Jeff Walker? Well, he's out here in Belize, and it's a small island, and I'm not a big Jerry Jeff Walker fan, although if I listen to some of his music, I mean, it sounds like he's country and western, and it sounds like the type of artist that I would probably like. I just haven't heard of him. So when he showed up in Belize, it didn't really get me excited because I don't know him that well. But I guess his number one song is Mr. Bojangles, and he wrote that song, and Um, that's a pretty good song, you know. Mr. Bojangles. It's about a street dancer, I think, in New Orleans. But his second most popular song is Stoney, Stoney, I guess. And it's about an old man, and I haven't even listened to it, but I heard this story from Stoney himself. And I met Stoney for lunch today, and my wife and I did. And we talked, and Stoney is like an old man who's got a lot of wisdom in the world, and he's a gold mine of stories and knowledge. Got a PhD in literature. He's a college professor. And we talked about the fact that he knows Johnny Cash. He knew Johnny Cash, sorry. He knew Chris Christopherson. He knew Johnny Cash's manager. I can't think of his name right now. Jack McClellan or something. I can't remember his name. Anyway, his history was just rich with stories and a lot of the background, you know, that I grew up in too. And of course, he's a lot older than me, but I respected his wisdom and his insight. And I knew that he had a lot to offer. And if you saw a picture of him, he looks like just an old wise sage, right? And I think he's even captured in some of the earlier videos. He's the one in the wheelchair, and anyways, I don't want to go on and on, but you have to understand that when we were having lunch, I got the impression that he just had a rich history of information and knew a lot of things of the world, and I would have liked to have talked to him a lot longer than we did. But one of the things that I wanted to share is that we agreed so much on philosophy and religion. The fact that part of the problem with people like the Zeitgeist movement is they deny the fact that man is wicked. And he said that back in his day there was a lot of young people that would start these hippie movements where they would go off and they had a lot of great ideas, and they would sit around, and within 6 months they would all be disbanded because of the honoriness and the fact that man can't get along with each other, and that they deny the fact that wickedness exists. And I thought that was a very good assessment that he made, and I've made a similar assessment myself. I've made a previous video where Zeitgeist doesn't address the core of the problem, which is the corruption of mankind. And until they can't address that because they don't recognize the existence of God, and that they don't recognize that God is the source of prosperity and also a righteous society. But we got on the topic of 9/11, and it's always an interesting topic to broach with a stranger because you never know where they're coming from. And I tell you, he was very defensive of the CIA. He was very defensive of the American government position. And he's relayed that he's had friends that have lost limbs and died from Al-Qaeda, and he obviously hates Al-Qaeda. And I do too. I mean, I'm not a fan of Al-Qaeda. But while we were having this conversation, somebody that I respected and thought of as a wise old sage and aligned with politically and religiously, when he talked about defending the CIA and how bad Al-Qaeda was, and then I brought up, of course, my position, and he didn't even know, again, he's one of those that he didn't even know what World Trade Center 7 was. He's never seen the World Trade Center 7 video. And he made me feel, he didn't do it consciously, but it was one of those situations where I was as he continued to talk, and he mentioned how bad 9/11 truthers were, and um, you're not, you're not one of those crowd. Um, but yet he'd never seen the World Trade Center 7 video, and so, you know, I can respect the fact that he's lost friends and he's lost um, people to Al Qaeda, but that doesn't give him any more. Um, it doesn't give him any more monopoly on the truth, right? We've all lost people. We've all lost family members, or most of us have, and so. Um, I'm sorry for people's losses to Al Qaeda, and I wish that the people of Al Qaeda would be brought to justice, those who have committed murder on American people. But I think there's more to the story than just Al Qaeda for 9/11, and I'm willing to see the truth, no matter where the truth takes me. And I don't let even a wise old sage um, as uncomfortable as it was, make me want to sit down and shut up. Because it would do a disservice to those who died on 9/11, and it would do a disservice to the truth. And so, yeah, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is that um, sometimes telling the truth to those that you respect and have a great deal of admiration for is very tough. And so I told him to go watch the video on World Trade Center 7, and I gave him a Pastor James David Manning card. And I could tell, once I told him my position on 9/11, that, there was just a different mood in the atmosphere, because he couldn't understand how someone could question our own government. And like I said, I don't know the role of George Bush, and I don't know the role of our government, but I do know what they've told us is a lie. And I do know that there's some very bad things going on in the world. And I'm not going to be made to feel shame and made to feel like someone else has some sort of monopoly on the truth, or someone else has some sort of priority on telling me what's going on simply because they know people that have died from violent acts from Al Qaeda. Okay, I'm sure you've gone through a lot of suffering, and I'm sure you've gone through a lot of loss, but you're not the only freaking one. And it's I don't know what to say. It's just I want to say so much, but then I'll just be quiet and just say that I still hold my position, and I would pray that you would, or whoever is going through these decision-making processes, and they're evaluating the information, that you look at the whole truth and you do some research on your own, and you don't buy into, if you're a 9/11 truther, you must hate America and you're a big traitor. And therefore you don't hate Al Qaeda and you must be an Al Qaeda lover. I'm a Texas boy and I don't know much, but I know when I look at World Trade Center 7, that freaking building didn't fall from a fire. And there's a tremendous amount of additional evidence that architects and engineers have brought to light as well on ae911truth.org. But that's a topic for another video. The main topic of this video is the birth certificate issue is about to break loose. 9/11 needs a further investigation, and I don't give a damn that you want to try to make me out to be a traitor to America or an Al Qaeda lover. The truth is the truth. And you look like a good guy, Stoney, but you need to wake up, man. Take care.